He designs and builds fully sufficient, clean tech homes made from natural and recycled materials. These homes are called Earthships, and they're being built all around the world. Now check out what these things do. These Earthships heat and cool themselves naturally. They produce their own electricity. They collect their own water. They treat their own sewage. For anybody who drives on the garden over at nighttime, you'd really appreciate that. And they grow a significant amount of their own food. They do all of this without the need for fossil fuels, nuclear energy, and utility bills for the residents. Wow, that would be amazing. He is the chief designer and he is responsible for structural and systems evolutions. He leads his team on disaster relief projects, and some of those projects include tsunami relief in India and hurricane relief in Mexico. He adapts building techniques to suit any climate in the world. He has even created an autonomous earthquake relief structure in Port-au-Prince, Haiti. To make things even more impressive, he teaches the philosophy behind living in rhythm with the earth, hence what EarthRhythm is all about. This man exemplifies what today is all about. He is the initiator of 3 Earthship communities, author of 7 books. He is the subject of the documentary Garbage Warrior and the drafter of the Sustainable Development Testing Sites Act. Recent international projects include a school in Sierra Leone, sustainable homes in Nicaragua, an eco-resort in Jamaica, and building residences in France. Please give a warm welcome to this tour de force. I can't wait to hear him as he presents sustainable autonomy for everyone.
You know, if you put it on a piece of paper, people will read it. This is a picture of Amazon rainforest in an Earthship in New Mexico, in the high desert, 2,300 meters high. It's 40 below Celsius at night. It's really hot during the day. I don't know what Celsius that is. Something like 40. I think it's between 40 and 40 that this mesa gets, that this Earthship is on. This jungle stays a jungle year-round, makes food, has birds, has fish. No power lines come to it, no gas lines come to it, no sewage lines go out of it, no water lines come to it. This is available. And I think that's the thing I'm pushing right now is I don't think people know that this is available. It's available all over the world, and it's available to every man, woman, and child on the planet at the cost of understanding the earth. And so that's what we're trying to do. We're doing it for ourselves because doing things for the planet is nice, but what you really realize is that the better off the planet is, the better off all the people are, the better off you are. So really, we're just doing things for ourselves. This is a quick history of it. Started 45 years ago building houses out of beer cans. People thought I was a real freak then. And it sort of stuck. Denver Post made a big article about it before I was an architect. And they called me an architect, so the architects board held up my license. And later they took it away altogether. This is the first beer can house. A lot of it involved, the history of this involved strapping yourself on top of a pyramid in full moon. During count. This definitely didn't go over well with the architects board. But pyramids do. Pyramids, encounter the solar system, and all we're trying to do is encounter the Earth. I mean, architecture. That's why we don't really use the word architecture anymore. But it's not encountering anything except economy these days. I did have to learn to fly. People ask me what inspires me. This kind of thing inspires me to go the other way. This is what we do on this planet. We deliver energy. This is what we do on this planet. We have mountains of tires for our automobiles. Wow. We have them in the ocean. We burn, they burn. You know, these kind of things cause me to really, you know, cut out all the stops and do whatever it takes. Japan's nuclear power plant, that's inspirational. Pigs eating garbage, that's inspirational. Garbage existing all over the planet, that's inspirational. Every city, country has mountains of glass bottles, mountains of plastic bottles. So these kind of things were inspirational. Pretty much everybody agrees these days, it took them a while to get there on the same page, but that we are heading for a bummer. The direction that we're heading is in the direction of a bummer. It's because, you know, our path, our road, our highway is headed for a bummer. And, you know, people are all coming up with solutions for the bummer. And I'm just like, just go another way. There's other ways to go besides on that path. And there's no, you know, the bummer's still there, but you can go around it. And that's really an easy way to look at how to get somewhere other than the bummer. And you end up having to be in a place like this. And then that's a real bummer. This is the sewage treatment area, by the way. This is sewage. So we went back in history and built a bunch of buildings out of garbage. They call it garbage. We invented garbage. There's no garbage with the animals and the plants that don't have garbage. So really, we're trying to make our garbage not be garbage, and it has worked. The things that we make and call garbage are really well made. And we made a lot of houses in the old days out of, and we still do have those materials, I call them natural materials rather than garbage. We also started looking at the wind, the sun, the rainbows, and dealing with all of those in terms of them being phenomena that we want to encounter to find sustenance for people. Because if people are sustained and have, you put it simply, people have a lot of tomatoes, they're not fighting over tomatoes. If everybody's got a lot of tomatoes, that's really, it's just that simple. And the thing is, there's too many haves and have-nots, and the way we even get tomatoes is tearing up everything. So we're trying to get these things by the logic of the planet. Obviously, I started drinking somewhere along the line. And so we made buildings that we call Earthships. After all the experimentation and everything. And these Earthships now are being built. This is one for a movie star, Dennis Weaver, who's dead now, being a movie star. This is one in Illinois. I've never even seen it. We wrote books. People started doing it. We're looking for challenges. We made pictures, sketches of Earthships in the mountains. I bought some mountain land, and the people thought it was crazy. The realtors thought I was an idiot. They said you can't build there, and we did. We go to places that don't have utilities and also the places that don't have utilities have less rules. The rules are the things that keep us from evolving these days. But this is up in this mountain community. Bananas growing at 4,000 meters. The building's covered with snow, and there's bananas inside. It's like, this is really possible. And so these buildings are just giving you a glimpse of, every one of them has got a jungle inside. That's the sewage treatment. These are just types of these buildings. They are harvesting rainbows these days. And so all of this ended up causing me to lose my license in New Mexico. I have a license in Canada, by the way. So anyway, they would not use the word architecture in New Mexico, so I invented biotecture. So, you know, achieving sustenance through the encounter of earth phenomena. That was the definition of it. And what are earth phenomena? All of those things, wind, rain, gravity, condensation, all things of physics and biology are earth phenomena. They are our friends, not the politicians. You know, some will kill you. It's just totally honest. It'll kill you. And unless you relate to it right. Politicians will tell you they won't kill you. We don't even know save you. But you know what to do. So it's like I like the honesty of the phenomena. I mean, I really understand the pagans who used to worship the phenomena. You know, it's a hell of a lot better than worshiping a politician. So the people ask me also, do I have a mentor or a person who really influenced me? And usually I draw a blank on that. But a tree really does influence me. I would like to be a tree, actually, more than a person, but human. But the trees drop their garbage, not in wrappers, and it turns into more dirt. They have a piping system that pulls up water. They give off oxygen, take in CO2, and the animals and us do the opposite. They have their own electric system. They're like, you know, the photosynthesis. They have it all together. You know, they don't need houses. They don't need automobiles. I mean, if there is a model creature for the earth, to me it's a tree, and we're trying to make our movements through these buildings be like trees. We have then determined the 6 issues that every city and country has to deal with. And everybody needs water, everybody needs energy, because everybody has a cell phone, let's face it. Everybody does do this. Everybody has garbage. We do everything we do is garbage. I mean, everybody needs food and everybody needs comfortable shelter. Every city and country has to deal with these things. And the way they're dealing with them with infrastructure and everything is pathetic. And it's kind of empowering, I think, to show yourself and other people that those things can be obtained on our own, and they're not vulnerable that way. So we synthesized all this down into these 6 points, and we studied these 6 points, and we make buildings that address them. This is kind of a flamboyant one. It's called the Phoenix. One in Montana, here in Canada, New Mexico. They're not that far from regular buildings. They very simple ones. So we hit these 6 points briefly. You know, we do use the recycled materials, and they end up looking like this. You know, they're not. They don't look like garbage anymore. You know, but any construction material looks weird until it's finished. It's just taking garbage and redefining it. It's taking everything and redefining it. The tires are actually, if I had to invent a great building material, I'd invent a tire, because it's a steel belted rubber casing built with earth, which is thermal mass, compression. They're great. People can do it. This is a retaining wall in southern tip of Argentina. We take bottles will never go away. We make bricks out of them. They make stained glass. It's easy to do. All of these things are 8th grade physics, 8th grade biology, and 8th grade skills. That's how easy it is to completely have a life. That's what we're finding out. So this is Guatemala, New Mexico. You can't. We've just scratched the surface, I think, of what can be done on every one of these 6 issues. But we are putting it all in the buildings, all of these things into every building. These are kids in Sierra Leone making bottle bricks out of plastic bottles. This is their classroom. This is their school. Philippines. The plastic bottles make the bricks too. People don't even recognize them as plastic bottles anymore. They ask me, how do you get this sand out of that? The beer cans, you know, they're indigenous. You know, if you're all talking about it's true. There's no place on this planet that doesn't have beer cans, bottles, and tires. They're indigenous. So we're building out of indigenous materials, and so what? These materials can do anything, really. I can't really invent better materials than these. People do, still raise their eyebrows at it, and some architects, think it's, well, I was probably the straightest before I was an architect. Jamaica resorts make all kinds of bottles and cans because of the booze, because of the vacation. Washing machines and stoves and dryers and things. We harvest that metal and make roofs out of it. I mean, everything out there that's made well can be used. We use it for roofing. It's better than regular roofing. I used it to patch my Mercedes. And I went grease in the Mercedes from the bars, straight into a t-shirt. Bottle caps, grout joints. Philippines, we had no insulation, we had no money for insulation, and it had a lot of cardboard. We used it for insulation. Cardboard from dropping all the meds and food after the typhoon. So these are, here's a building that shows natural materials. There's wood, there's mud, there's stone, but there's also bottles, cans, and tires. There's no difference. You come here from another planet, a lot of things look different. You see tires as natural materials. You see tires as natural as trees. It's good to come here from another planet. It's good to definitely take a different view of everything. So these buildings just do that. They're hooked into the earth big time with thermal solar heating and cooling, which is, we do a whole academy course on all of these issues. But basically the building stays, due to its the earth embraces it and emits the sun and stores it. Due to this phenomenon, the building stayed 21 Celsius year round. And we, like I say, we have minus 40 Celsius and plus 40 Celsius where these buildings have been developed. They have cooling tubes, they have earth, they have insulation, they have cisterns, they have buffers on greenhouses that are also, every time you see plants in these buildings, that's the sewage treatment system. The sewage treatment system is really running the sewage through the house. That's another reason the New Mexico architects terminated my situation. This is a chart made by an Australian guy. These are high temperatures, these are low temperatures, and these were the temperatures in the building he did tests on for a year. They just stayed stable. The buildings just stay stable. People don't believe that's possible without fuel of any kind, without any backup. There are configurations that make it work for hot climates too. Everybody knows about solar and wind energy. We incorporate that into the buildings as well. We have gotten into our own vertical axis windmills because they're quiet. See how quiet that is? And because we can make them ourselves in any town, any city. The sound you would hear on one of these is the camera, the wind in the camera. But we are doing these on top of a project in Manhattan, Lower East Side, where we're bringing the sun into an 80-foot long mirror and shooting it down into the Earthship. That's scaring a lot of people. And we have evolutions of that. Water harvesting in all the buildings is simply catching water in the roof. My mother did it. It's not a big deal. You're catching water, you're filtering it, but the thing that made it so we could use this is we use the water 4 times. We use the shower water to water plants in the houses, and this is Jamaica. Same story. The buildings all are shaped by their methods of harvesting the water. But you take the water, you clean it up, you pressurize it, you filter it for drinking, and then you use it to take a shower. You run through watering plants and things, and then you catch it again and flush the toilet. So this, your shower water waters plants which produce food, and you gather it again and flush your toilet with it. And so every one of these buildings has essentially sewage running through the living room. Sewage is not, sewage is like garbage. I mean, garbage we think is bad. There's a stigma with garbage. Well, of course, there's a stigma with sewage too. I specialize in garbage and shit. Both of them. I do. Turn to both. So all the buildings have this feature. We teach a course on every one of them exactly how to do it, all the biology involved. There's a bundle of bananas from an indoor sewage system, and there's a foot of snow outside. I mean, this is available. This is possible. This is available to everybody. Knowing, we're putting out like a textbook. Knowing, we're doing an app actually on this for $9.99 an app that covers all of this. But the thing is, it's available, everybody can have it, and the biggest barrier is people themselves, the codes, the regulations. Other than that, it's beautiful. And so all of these buildings address these issues, and this is our high desert plateau mesa. That's the way it looks. This is somebody's sewage system. It's attracting animals that wouldn't normally be there. And so that ends up producing food, and you're producing food from your sewage. In other words, when I think of sewage, I think of food. I'm sorry. It is. It's a transformation. We're just transforming stuff. It's alchemy. I mean, really. And all of these things, words like alchemy when we're going to a building permit. So, this is sort of an unrequited situation, I guess. But this is food. These foods are all grown in just 2 different buildings. Cucumbers, squash, peppers, tomatoes, strawberries, broccoli. Whatever that is. We get so much we have to dry it. Lots of tomatoes. Mushrooms, chocolate, figs, watermelons, cantaloupes. This is new off the press, and we have pineapples growing. Whatever that is, artichokes, papayas, eggplants, grapes. Like building the picture I first showed is like it's a mini biosphere. Is what it is, and it works with no fuel, no energy, anything except a natural phenomenon. And like the biosphere in Arizona, they spent billions and it wasn't successful, and they couldn't do it again because they spent too much money. Well, when it's all put into just a home-sized project, it's not that serious. And the biggest problem that we had in this project was that these birds ate these grapes.